Saludamos ya a Jane Goodall, que se encuentra en Londres. Jane, bienvenida. Es un auténtico privilegio tenerte en el programa. Gracias por atendernos.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me onto your program.
Jane, en tu último libro tú nos invitas a mantener la esperanza, pero lo cierto es que vivimos en una sociedad que está en constante crisis económica, sanitaria, crisis climática. ¿Qué podemos hacer para no caer, para no dejarnos arrastrar por el derrotismo?
Well, I think you know that a lot of my optimism comes from the fact that when I was a child, I was living through World War II. And for about a year, the might of Nazi Germany was on one side of the English Channel, and I was on the coast, the other side. We were not ready for war. We were alone. The rest of Europe had been defeated or had capitulated, and we had Churchill, and Churchill roused a fighting spirit in the British people. We will not be defeated. And amazingly, although there was no hope, we were not defeated. And that's what we have to do today. We are facing a worse crisis than we were in World War II. And we must get together. We must develop this spirit. We won't give up. We will do everything we can to slow down climate change, to stop the loss of species. We have to.
Hacías referencia a esa Segunda Guerra Mundial. A lo largo de tu vida has sido testigo de episodios muy relevantes. Ahora, por ejemplo, estamos librando otra guerra, en este caso contra el coronavirus. ¿Qué deberíamos aprender de estos 2 años de pandemia, Jane?
We have to learn that we brought this pandemic absolutely on ourselves because of our mistreatment, our disrespect of animals. An opportunity for a virus like COVID-19 to jump from an animal to a human, where it started a new disease. And that is the reason for our pandemic. There have been other zoonotic diseases. There will be more unless we realize we must treat animals in a different way.
En 1960 viajas por primera vez a Tanzania para estudiar a los chimpancés. Visto ahora en perspectiva, fue una auténtica heroicidad. Estamos hablando de una mujer joven, sin apenas recursos económicos, sin tampoco el apoyo académico necesario. ¿Qué fue lo más duro, lo más difícil de aquel comienzo, Jane?
Well, my mentor, Louis Leakey, the hardest thing for him was to get the money for me to start, because a young girl who hadn't been to college, I mean, how stupid, sending her out into the wild. Crazy. But anyway, finally, he got money for 6 months. My worst problem in those very early days was the chimpanzees ran away when they saw me. And I only had money for 6 months. And for 4 whole months, they disappeared. But of course, sitting with my binoculars, I was learning about them from a distance. And then finally, the one wonderful chimpanzee, David Greybeard, he's here behind me. He began to lose his fear, and it was he who showed me that chimpanzees can use and make tools. That was the turning point. Then National Geographic came in. But right throughout this long career, we're still studying these chimps, 60th anniversary this year. Throughout, the big problem has been getting the funding, not just to study the chimps, but to involve all the local communities in conservation.
¿Qué deberíamos cambiar? ¿Cómo calificarías la relación que tenemos los seres humanos con la naturaleza y especialmente con los animales?
We have to understand that we are part of nature. Some people think we're separate from it. You live in the middle of a city, you think, well, what happens out there in nature doesn't matter to me. But it does. Every breath of air you take comes from the natural world. Everything you drink, everything you eat. We have to stop this crazy idea that we can have unlimited economic development on a planet with finite natural resources, some of which are being used up faster than nature can replenish them.
Los líderes mundiales parece que toman decisiones pensando de manera muy cortoplacista. Claro, ¿qué consecuencias puede tener esto en asuntos como la crisis climática?
Well, it's absurd. People think that the annual growth of GDP is more important than preserving the environment for the future. And this has led to climate change and loss of biodiversity. The good news is that some businesses are beginning to change. And I was talking to the CEO of a big corporation about 3 weeks ago. And he said, Jane, for the last 10 years, I've been working to change my business to be ethical. And finally, he said, what really got to me was my little girl. She was about 8 years old. And she came home from school one day and she said, Daddy, they tell me that you're harming the planet with what you're doing. That's not true, is it, Daddy? It's my planet too. That, he said, reached into his heart. And I truly believe that the way to change people is not by yelling at them, shouting at them, telling them that they're the bad people and they must change. No, it's to reach the heart, so that I think change needs to come from within.
Hace unos días, Jane, tú mostraste tu apoyo al ministro de Consumo español, Alberto Garzón, que se mostró contrario a las macrogranjas. ¿Qué piensas tú de la ganadería intensiva?
I think that it is terrible on several fronts. First of all, obviously, the cruelty to the animals. And we have to remember every cow, every pig, every chicken, each one is an individual. Each one is capable of feeling either contented or frightened. Secondly, the damaging effect on the environment, because around the world there are billions of animals in factory farms. They all have to be fed. Huge areas of environment are cleared to grow the grain to feed them. And a lot of fossil fuel is used in the massive machinery of these intensive farms. And finally, all of these animals produce methane gas, which is a very virulent greenhouse gas. So the methane and the CO2 from fossil fuel is making a major contribution to the warming of the planet.
¿Qué podemos hacer nosotros, Jane? ¿Qué deberíamos tener en cuenta, por ejemplo, a la hora de comprar alimentos?
We cannot really change enough until we alleviate poverty, because if you're really poor, you can't make those choices. You just have to buy the cheapest to survive. And this is the problem. These big corporations are competing to produce the cheapest food to get more customers. We must start shopping ethically.
Jane, tengo entendido que cuando termina el día sueles tomarte un whisky, algo así como un ritual nocturno, y aunque sea de manera virtual, sí que me gustaría terminar esta entrevista compartiendo un brindis contigo. ¿Por qué brindamos, Jane? ¿Cuál sería tu deseo más especial?
I would simply wish that every individual thinks about the way they behave each day, thinks about how they impact the planet, because if we all start thinking that way, it will create the kind of world that we won't be so ashamed of to leave to our children.
Muchísimas gracias por esta charla tan inspiradora y por contagiarnos esa esperanza. Gracias y suerte.
Thank you and cheers, everyone. Thank you.